As the sun cast its golden rays upon Scottsdale, Arizona, the sleek glass exterior of Sun Valley Motors sparkled with sharp reflections, telling a tale of brilliance and allure. Jack Reynolds tipped his red MAGA hat as he stepped out of his pickup, the sound of his boots crunching on the asphalt echoing in the air. The air carried a subtle scent of freshly brewed coffee from a nearby café, mingling with the warmth of rubber. Jack gazed upon the row of high-end vehicles, each one gleaming with a mirror-like polish, perfectly aligned in a captivating display. He donned a pair of weathered boots, a fresh blue shirt with sleeves casually rolled up, and time-worn denim. Yet, the headwear stood out like a guiding light in the night. It was more than just an accessory. Jack sensed that the words he spoke might stir deep emotions in those who heard them. His presence was not for the sake of politics, however. He wasn't even there to buy a vehicle. He had come to witness how this dealership, a small yet vital part of his organization, engaged with its clients. As Jack stepped through the glass doors, he was greeted by the subtle scent of leather mingling with the brisk chill of the air conditioning. The showroom exuded an almost sterile perfection, every surface gleaming with an immaculate shine. Salespeople engaged with consumers, lingering near the vehicles, their smiles broad and rehearsed. He slipped into the shadows, evading attention for a fleeting moment. Jack surveyed the surroundings, his eyes drawn to a glossy black sports car that gleamed under the bright spotlights. At last, a young salesman, his nerves palpable, made his way over. "Greetings, esteemed gentlemen. What brings you here today? Is there something particular you're seeking?" With a subtle twist of his lips, Jack shook his head, a hint of a story unfolding in that simple gesture. "At present, I find myself simply exploring." A sharp voice cut through the dialogue, halting its progress. "My sincerest apologies, Jeremy." Jack glanced over to see a man making his way toward them with purpose. Upon his name tag, the name Steve Harrison stood proudly, marking him as the manager. Steve wore an expression that commanded respect while exuding a serene confidence, and his suit fit him with impeccable precision. A flicker of annoyance danced across his expression as his gaze darted from Jack's hat to his face and back again. "My deepest gratitude to you, kind sir." Steve began the dialogue with a courteous yet curt manner. "We cater exclusively to those who are truly committed, and I must convey my regrets regarding this matter." Jack's mirth faded, a single eyebrow arching in curiosity. "What makes you think I am not being genuine?" Steve held his ground, even as the slightest tightening of his gaze betrayed his inner thoughts. "We have a guiding principle that encourages us to focus on clients who align with the core values of our dealership." Jack's expression was a mystery, his eyes locked onto Steve's for what felt like an eternity. He replied with a hint of intrigue, "Interesting policy." With a subtle nod, he shifted his attention back to the vehicles, casting aside the tension that hung thick in the air. With each determined step, Steve's demeanor grew colder, his polished shoes echoing sharply against the tile floor, a rhythmic reminder of his relentless pursuit of Jack. Jack advanced with purpose, pausing to admire the sleek luxury sedans and SUVs gleaming under the radiant showroom lights. Though he seemed unhurried and unconcerned, the tension in Steve's posture spoke volumes. As Steve stepped directly into Jack's path, he addressed him with a respectful "sir." Yet, beneath the veneer of politeness, lay a simmering impatience, lending his voice a distinct sharpness. "I must kindly ask that you take your leave." With a subtle tilt of his head, Jack came to a stop. He momentarily focused on the name tag that read Steve before his eyes found their way back to him. "Do you long to take your leave?" Jack spoke again, his presence steady and commanding. "What brings that about?" Steve folded his arms across his chest. "It seems clear that your arrival does not carry the purpose of making a purchase. We cherish the commitment to uphold an environment that resonates with the values held dear by those we serve." He continued, his gaze fixed on Jack's headwear, noting that it doesn't quite match the image we aim to convey. As the moments passed, a profound stillness enveloped the room. A couple meandering near the corner suddenly found themselves captivated by the unfolding exchange, as a few staff members shared hesitant glances among themselves. Jack's demeanor held steady, even as he sensed the delicate shift around him. Jack replied, his voice steady, "I see. Furthermore, what picture is that?" Steve paused for a heartbeat, then leaned in a touch closer, lowering his voice to a whisper. Our clientele embodies a spirit of progressiveness and inclusivity. We strive to keep our focus clear of political distractions. Jack shook his head, a soft chuckle escaping his lips, as if the moment itself was a tale waiting to be told. Forward-thinking and welcoming, huh? Except for those who see things differently. Steve's cheeks tinged with a hint of color as he stood tall. My good sir, this matter is not open for debate. I kindly ask that you take your leave. If you wish, I can weave a tale of an alternative dealership that might just be the perfect fit for your needs. Jack fixed his gaze on Steve, holding it for a moment longer before shifting his focus to the rest of the room. Jeremy, the young salesman who had first welcomed him, lingered at the edge of the showroom, his demeanor reflecting a sense of unease. Many other employees completely shied away from making eye contact. With a swift pivot, Jack made his way to the door, silence enveloping him like a cloak. He pushed through the glass doors and stepped back into the sunlight, the silence in the room hanging heavily around him. With a sudden breath, Steve straightened his tie, rejoining his colleagues with a renewed sense of purpose. With a sharpness in his voice, he declared, "All right, let's get back to work." Yet, beneath that brisk exterior lay a hint of apprehension, suggesting that the encounter still lingered in the air, unfinished and unresolved. Jack stood outside, his eyes fixed on his vehicle, the sun casting a shimmering glow off its hood. He leaned momentarily against the driver's door, his eyes wandering over the showroom, mirrored in the glass before him. Before he stepped into the truck and drove off, a flicker of something maybe resolve shone in his eyes, yet his expression remained inscrutable. As the afternoon sun poured its golden rays over the Scottsdale streets, Jack's pickup smoothly merged into the flow of traffic. Yet, the ambience within the dealership was notably dimmer. Steve Harrison's biting words hung in the atmosphere, crackling with tension as he made his way back to his office. Even with the palpable absence of energy in the room, the rest of the staff pressed on with their duties. Jeremy, the young salesman, fidgeted behind the desk, his eyes wandering to the bustling showroom floor from time to time. Meanwhile, Jack lingered nearby. He made the decision to embrace a strategy he often championed in his corporate beliefs, leaving his vehicle at a nearby café. Listen closely. With a steaming cup of coffee in hand, he settled into a shaded outdoor table, perfectly positioned to take in the full view of the dealership. As time flowed on, the exchanges among the staff unfolded with greater depth and insight, layer by layer. Steve embarked on his managerial rounds once more, directing his team with a flurry of commands and sharing a handful of strained smiles with patrons. Once, Jeremy approached him with a sense of unease, clearly burdened by anxiety. With a quiet yet respectful tone, Jeremy began, "Sir, was it really essential to ask that person to leave?" Steve cut in, his expression tightening with intensity. "Hold on just a moment, Jeremy." Steve waved his hand dismissively in the direction where Jack had departed, signaling that people like him are not the audience we seek. To thrive in this setting, it is essential to understand the kind of clientele we hold in high regard. Is this a straightforward declaration? Jeremy's cheeks turned a deep shade of crimson as he eagerly nodded his head. Of course, my good sir. In the shadows of the office, a handful of employees caught sight of the unfolding drama, their voices dipping to hushed tones as they exchanged glances, all while Steve remained blissfully unaware of their clandestine chatter. It was clear that not everyone shared the manager's perspective, yet there was a palpable hesitance among them to voice their dissent. Steve was, after all, celebrated for his knack for keeping a tight ship, where dissent found no welcome. Jack strolled back into the café, savoring another sip of his coffee, the rich bitterness weaving seamlessly into the tapestry of his thoughts. Throughout his journey in the corporate world, he gathered a treasure trove of insights into the art of leadership. This moment struck a chord deep within me. Steve's biases extended beyond the realm of politics. They revealed a troubling absence of professionalism and respect that had the potential to erode an organization from the inside out. Jack watched the intricate interplay unfold for nearly an hour. It was clear that the employees felt a sense of unease when it came to maintaining prolonged eye contact with Steve, as they were wary of provoking his ire. While the exchanges may have lacked depth, most patrons received a warm welcome and a polite farewell as they came and went. In a world where appearances reigned supreme, the showroom stood as a monument to superficiality, a notion that Jack could not accept. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, Jack picked up his phone and began to weave a conversation. With a calm and deliberate tone, he spoke to Darlene. "It is I. Might you be able to set up a conference call with the regional manager of Sun Valley Motors for tomorrow morning? There are a handful of topics I wish to discuss." Darlene, his unwavering companion, held her poise with grace. "Absolutely, Mr. Reynolds. Is there anything more you seek?" With a lingering gaze, Jack surveyed the dealership one last time before setting forth on his adventure. Make certain they are ready to tackle some thought-provoking questions. As the call came to an end, Jack drove away in his vehicle, leaving behind a building that seemed far more exposed than it truly was. What he beheld today was merely a thread in a larger tapestry of events. A society yearning for a jolt of awareness, it revealed a deeper issue beneath the surface. The next day unveiled a unique kind of heat, not from the sun's rays, but from the simmering tension at Sun Valley Motors. Jack had skillfully crafted a laid-back routine, knowing full well that the day ahead would demand all of his focus. As he readied himself for the conference call, his mind couldn't help but wander back to the events he had witnessed. The dealership was not merely letting down its customers. It was turning a blind eye to its people. At the stroke of 10:00 in the morning, Jack wasted no time in sparking the dialogue. Karen Bishop, the regional manager, upheld her unwavering commitment to punctuality. Her voice resonated with clarity and authority. "Good morning, Mr. Reynolds. I trust your day is off to a delightful start. I understand that you wanted to share your thoughts about Sun Valley Motors?" Jack sat back in his chair, his demeanor a careful blend of calm and intention. "Good morning, Karen. Yesterday, I found myself at the Scottsdale dealership, stepping into the role of a customer." A moment of stillness followed. Karen's curiosity shone through, her tone shifting ever so slightly. "Indeed, I grasp the essence of what you're conveying. How would you describe the essence of your journey?" Jack replied that it was truly eye-opening. He painted a vivid picture of the events, capturing the manager's dismissive demeanor, the refusal of service, and the intricate cultural dynamics he had keenly observed. He left no stone unturned. While his words rang true, their importance was undeniably clear. Karen absorbed every word, her quietude occasionally broken by the soft, rhythmic scratch of a pen gliding across the page. After Jack had finished, she took a moment to clear her throat. "It truly saddens me to hear about your experience, Mr. Reynolds. This behavior is utterly disgraceful. I shall swiftly address the issue at hand." Jack paused, his silence lingering in the air. Before he uttered a word, he let the moment stretch and breathe. "Karen, I seek something deeper than just an apology. This tale unfolds beyond just one moment in time. It relates to the essence of civilization. The tale unfolding at Sun Valley Motors is not confined to the streets of Scottsdale. It is woven into the very fabric of our existence." Karen paused, contemplating the weight of her next breath. "Indeed, you are right. In the past, we've heard concerns about that location, yet none have reached the level of severity that we are facing now. I will embark on a thorough exploration of their activities and," Jack gently interjected, "that won't be necessary. I will take it upon myself to handle this matter." Karen's astonishment resonated clearly, even through the phone line. "Pray tell, who might you be, good sir?" "Indeed," Jack proclaimed with unwavering certainty. "I am eager to witness their response as the CEO makes their entrance into the building. Not from the sidelines, but at the helm. This afternoon, I shall make my presence known. Make certain that they are ready." Karen agreed, her voice laced with a blend of unease and solace. With a newfound determination, Jack wrapped up the call, his spirit unwavering. He was about to embark on a confrontation with Steve Harrison that would be anything but ordinary. He sought to create a standard that would define the essence of the organization's image. By the time the clock struck 3 p.m., Jack's vehicle rolled back into the welcoming embrace of the dealership's parking lot. With a confident stride, he stepped into the building, his hat perched perfectly atop his head, exuding an unmistakable air of authority. The staff's faces told a tale of mild panic and confusion as their eyes darted upward. Jeremy's face reflected a profound astonishment as he halted in the midst of their exchange. Steve was the final one to witness Jack's entrance. He stepped out of his office, radiating his usual confidence, but his stride came to an unexpected stop when he caught sight of Jack. As the truth unfolded before him, a wave of understanding washed over his features, leaving them pale and drawn. Steve, Mr. Reynolds, stumbled, his earlier bravado evaporating in a heartbeat. Little did I know that Jack had stopped him from finishing. With a steady yet firm tone, he declared, "We will discuss the matter in your office." Jack trailed behind Steve into the office, shutting the door softly, while the staff remained in astonished silence, their eyes wide with curiosity. Silence enveloped the room, heavy with unspoken thoughts, as the showroom buzzed with unvoiced curiosity. Jack perched across from Steve's workstation, his presence calm yet shrouded in mystery. "Do you know why I have come to be here?" he asked. Steve took a deep breath, his hands trembling with anticipation. "It seems to me that the focus is on the events of yesterday." Jack leaned in a bit, his curiosity piqued. "Indeed, it encompasses a vast array of elements beyond just that." As Jack loomed over Steve, an invisible force seemed to settle heavily upon him, prompting a restless shift in his seat. He started Mr. Reynolds, his voice carrying a hint of tremor. "This is certainly not the usual path we take." Jack's gaze sharpened, his calm facade melting into something more intense, and yesterday stood out as a rare deviation. Could there be a unique circumstance? "Steve, what a fascinating choice of words you have there. The situation I witnessed was not a mere coincidence. It revealed the true nature of the dealership's operations." As Steve readied himself to speak, Jack stepped in, lifting his hand to signal his intent. "I wish to highlight the following points. For many years, I have poured my heart and soul into building this organization, shaping it into not just a business, but a shining example of excellence. The way you interacted with a potential consumer yesterday was not just lacking in professionalism. It was a profound violation of those cherished ideals." Steve's face glowed with a vibrant hue of crimson. With a sudden urgency in his tone, he declared, "I didn't know who you were. Had I known, I would never have." Jack cut him off mid-sentence. "And that is exactly the crux of the matter. There is no need for me to worry about who I am. Every individual who crosses that threshold deserves our respect, regardless of how they look, what they wear, or what they believe." Steve averted his eyes from Jack, his focus drifting to the palms of his hands. The stillness that enveloped them was heavy and relentless. Jack settled back in his chair, his presence softening just a touch while still holding onto its weighty essence. "Do you realize the financial consequences your actions brought upon this dealership yesterday? In every sense, both in wealth and in standing. You did not just push me away. Your actions created a rift between every employee who observed them and every customer who felt the palpable tension in the showroom." Steve's gaze held a blend of rebellion and embarrassment as he finally raised his eyes. "My endeavor was to uphold the esteemed reputation of the dealership with the highest level of respect, sir. We must take it upon ourselves to protect our good name." With a subtle shadow of disappointment crossing his features, Jack shook his head slowly. "Steve, a reputation is built through inclusion, not exclusion. It is built upon the unwavering foundation of integrity. Furthermore, it seems you did not showcase any of it yesterday." As the air thickened with anticipation, the room embraced a heavy silence once again. Jack paused, allowing the weight of the situation to settle in his mind before moving forward. "Your duties are swiftly lifted from your shoulders. Karen Bishop will guide the transition until a new manager steps into the role." In the midst of the unfolding drama, Steve's eyes grew wide with disbelief. "Is my employment coming to an end? In a like fashion?" Jack stood tall, his expression resolute. "Steve, this isn't just your tale to tell. It revolves around setting a benchmark for everyone else to follow. This organization stands firmly against discrimination and does not accept arrogance masquerading as leadership." Steve's face was ashen as he sank back into his chair. Jack made his way to the door, but something compelled him to pause before stepping outside. "One last thing," he said, his eyes locking back onto hers. "Take this as a tale of wisdom. No matter where your journey takes you, it is essential to show respect along the way. This principle stands as the foundation for every thriving venture and every principled person. With a swift departure, Jack left the office, not pausing for a reply, while Steve was left to face the repercussions of his choices. The staff in the showroom looked up in wonder as Jack appeared, their faces reflecting a mix of admiration and curiosity. Jack spoke to them with a firm and commanding presence, his voice unwavering and confident. "Gather around, dear friends, for I have a tale to share with you all, a particular fact that deserves your attention. This dealership and company shine with the virtues of respect, professionalism, and excellence. If any of you feel that those values are not being honored, you can reach out to me directly. I look forward to your unwavering commitment to these ideals." Jeremy, positioned towards the back, seemed to exude a sense of profound relief. With a subtle nod, Jack moved purposefully toward the door. As Jack stepped into the radiant Arizona sunlight, a profound sense of purpose washed over him. The dealership would embark on a journey toward financial recovery. Moreover, the insights gained from this experience will resonate throughout the organization, ensuring that no customer, no matter their standing, will face such treatment again in the future. Whispers of the sudden change in leadership spread swiftly through the ranks of the employees. Soft murmurs and shared reflections danced through the air as the staff set about unraveling the recent happenings. It was a moment of triumph for some, a long-awaited remedy to a toxic atmosphere. For some, it stood as a powerful testament that everyone must face the consequences of their actions. As the sun began to set, Karen Bishop made her way to the dealership, eager to connect with the team before the day drew to a close. In the heart of the showroom, she spoke to them, blending strength with understanding in her voice. She proclaimed that today marks a pivotal moment for this dealership. "We gather here to renew our commitment to what truly matters, our consumers and each other. This journey transcends mere transactions. The aim is to create an environment imbued with professionalism, trust, and respect." Jeremy found himself lost in the echoes of yesterday, her words resonating deeply within him. With a careful step, he moved forward, his determination unwavering. He declared, "I would like to express myself," his voice steady, even as a storm of anxiety brewed within him. Karen urged him to share his thoughts with a gentle nod. With a deep breath, Jeremy released the tension that had built within him. "For over a year now, I have witnessed firsthand the significant influence of Steve's presence on both the guests and the team members. Yesterday unfolded with challenges that were hard to witness. Yet, Mr. Reynolds' timely intervention has sparked a glimmer of hope within me, suggesting that brighter days may lie ahead." The warmth of Karen's smile revealed her approval. "My heart swells with gratitude, Jeremy. Those who stand ready to voice their thoughts and remain steadfast in the face of adversity are the very sparks that ignite transformation." The dealership underwent significant changes in the weeks that followed. Karen wove together a series of training sessions that emphasized the importance of teamwork, embraced cultural understanding, and elevated the art of customer service. As the staff came together, they forged connections that had long remained untouched, breaking down the walls that Steve's leadership had built. Jeremy stood out among his peers, embodying the essence of a true leader. Karen saw his unwavering commitment to championing the just, and she took him under her wing, offering her wisdom on the art of management. In just a few months, Jeremy found himself stepping into the role of assistant manager, a journey he embarked on with a blend of unwavering determination and genuine humility. In the meantime, Steve's departure left a notable mark on the organization. Jack took the lead on a company-wide initiative, inspired by the attention from other dealerships in the chain. Through the careful crafting of workshops, town halls, and anonymous feedback channels, every employee, no matter their role, was ensured a sense of appreciation and a voice that resonated throughout the organization. Jack embarked on secretive journeys to dealerships across the nation, each visit a chance to highlight the core principles that had paved the way for his achievements. The lesson echoed through every experience, unwavering amidst the tapestry of his encounters. Respect stood as a fundamental pillar, where every consumer and employee held equal significance in the grand narrative. On a fateful afternoon, Jack found himself back at Sun Valley Motors, months after the unforgettable incident. This time, the atmosphere was entirely unique. He arrived to a heartfelt reception from the team, who showcased their trust and unity. With a genuine grin and a confident grip, Jeremy made his way towards him. "Ah, Mr. Reynolds, what a delight it is to cross paths with you again." With a radiant smile, Jack's gaze swept over the lively showroom, taking in the vibrant scene around him. It seems that all is unfolding smoothly. With a subtle gesture, Jeremy acknowledged the moment. "Your deeds have set the stage for us all, and we owe it to you." Jack's smile grew wider. "Absolutely not, Jeremy. The task has been completed by each one of you. I merely called to your attention the strengths you possess." Though the words were few, their impact lingered on, echoing through time. As Jack stepped out of the dealership that day, a deep sense of fulfillment washed over him. The experience unfolded as a vivid illustration of how leadership wields its power, not just in mending mistakes, but also in inspiring transformation. The events at Sun Valley Motors unfolded like a captivating tale, reaching beyond mere corporate stories. They unfolded into a deep narrative about the consequences of unchecked prejudice, the essence of leadership, and the intricacies of our shared humanity. Jack Reynolds, a man who had carved out his realm on the foundations of fairness and respect, conveyed to his colleagues that these values were not just empty phrases. They were the very essence of true success. The tale of the incident traveled far beyond the dealership, sparking conversations throughout the wider business community. Numerous articles have explored the strength of subtle leadership, with Jack's actions serving as a compelling example of how to tackle workplace toxicity gracefully, avoiding public shaming or dramatic displays. He showed that responsibility could be strong yet respectful, guiding yet understanding. The lesson echoed through the hearts of the employees at Sun Valley Motors, reaching far beyond the walls of their workplace. A multitude of souls started to reflect on their own desires and the ways in which they connected with those around them. In his role as an assistant manager, Jeremy often took it upon himself to guide the younger employees, sharing the wisdom that every customer should be treated as though they were the most important person present. His approach was not just about making money, it was crafted to forge connections. Steve's departure from the organization marked a pivotal moment in his journey. The months that followed his dismissal were filled with a sense of deep humiliation. He sought wisdom, engaged in leadership gatherings, and worked diligently to rebuild his standing in more modest roles. The journey toward redemption was fraught with challenges, urging him to face his own prejudices and reconsider the essence of true leadership. Jack's intervention resonated with the consumers, leaving a notable impression on their experience. Sun Valley Motors carved out a name for itself as a dealership that welcomed everyone, embracing all identities and beliefs with open arms. At the Scottsdale location, a remarkable transformation took place, setting a shining example for others. Employee satisfaction soared to new heights, and sales flourished as a result. In the end, the tale transcended the mere presence of a commanding CEO or the missteps of a manager. It revolved around the choices we encounter each day, like the choice to lend an ear, to honor one another, and to transcend our disparities. It was a tale of extending grace to those ready to transform and the bravery to champion what is just, even in the face of discomfort. Once a mere emblem of division in the showroom, Jack's cap has undergone a remarkable transformation. It now stands as a testament to the profound strength found in humility, respect, and the unwavering belief that every individual, regardless of their role or appearance, is worthy of dignity. Jack often wove into his speeches to employees and partners the idea that true success isn't measured by the tally of vehicles sold or the profits earned. Ultimately, it is the principles we cherish and the lives we touch that truly inspire our journey.